A sinkhole in Liberty County is growing once again, 15 years after first appearing west of FM 770 in Daisetta.
There was no movement since then until a few days ago. Now, this morning, we're joined by Dr. Van Nieuwenhuis, Director of Petroleum Geoscience Programs with the University of Houston, to talk more about what is going on with this. Why is the sinkhole an issue, and why would you think we see movement for the first time in a long time?
Well, timing is kind of a tricky thing to guess, but what happens is once you start a process where you can get water into salt that's in the subsurface, that water can dissolve the salt, and therefore it can cause voids. When it dissolves, there's a void under the surface, and then the substrate above it collapses into it. It's pretty simple.
I'm from the state of Florida, and sinkholes are very common there. They appear just about every year. Why is the Daisetta sinkhole appearing or reappearing right now?
Well, it's, again, the timing is difficult to understand why. Probably the correct answer is that a certain amount of water's gotten there, dissolved a certain amount of salt. Instead of dissolving limestone like in Florida, there's a salt bed underneath it, and that salt bed is getting dissolved. It's associated with the salt dome, the whole salt dome, which is right next to it.
Now, as we were taking aerials just a moment ago, if you just glance at it, you just think, oh, there's another pond, right? You can't really tell what's happening here. But talk about why this could be a problem.
The reason it could be a problem is because, when they started injecting wastewater back when this all started in 2008, they created a channel to that salt bed, and now water is going to continue to ingress or move into the areas around the salt, causing it to dissolve, and when it dissolves, it creates again a loss of mass, and so the substrate above it will sink down into that lost volume.
Depending upon in which direction it goes, should the residents in that area be concerned?
If you're very close to it, I would say you probably need to be very concerned. Whether it's a mile or not, I doubt it would get that big that fast. Otherwise, this would have been happening, more aggressively in the past. And the only thing that I can imagine is that one of the channels of water flow into the subsurface managed to get to some more salt and dissolve more. And what often happens is it'll evacuate a little bit of the mass by dissolution, and then as it builds up, it starts to create a bigger and bigger cavity, and then the ground rock layers and the substrate above it eventually becomes a thin top that breaks and falls in.
Can anything be done about this?
It's not easy to fix or remediate, but one of the things that doesn't help it is allowing water to continue to get into that whatever that channel is. There's an opening at the current sinkhole, and the more water you let in, the worse it can get through time.
So we just have to keep watching it for now.
Yeah, and I think that it's ground penetrating radar could look around the cone of subsidence that you see to try to get at some indication of how fast it's going and how far it's spreading out or radiating out underneath the ground. But you can't get down to that salt layer. The salt layer is sort of estimated from some of the research I've looked at as much as 300 meters or 1,000 feet below the surface. It's hard for us to see it and know exactly what the size of the salt mass is that could be dissolved.
Well, Professor, thank you so very much for coming in and at least giving us an idea as to what is happening and the effect that it could have on the population in that area.
Yes, it's not likely that it'll get very large, but there are similar things out, like in Wink, Texas. There's a Wink 1 and a Wink 2 sinkhole, and those things are much bigger, and they are threatening the city out there, and they have a very widespread salt layer that can spread out a lot farther as drilling activity continues to cause it to dissolve.
Well, fascinating to learn more about it through you, our expert. Thank you for taking your time today, Dr. Nieuwenhuis from University of Houston. Good to see you.
Glad to do it.